Mr. Speaker, delisting the gray wolf does not mean we no longer monitor or manage the population. In fact, the exact opposite is true. But this bill allows state agencies who know their land and wildlife best, who already have management plans in place, to manage wolves in a way that protects life and property and allows all species in the ecosystem to thrive. Minnesota has the largest population of wolves in the lower 48. There's over 6,000 wolves in Minnesota, and they refer to the northern part of the state as the dead zone because wolves have largely wiped out all other wildlife, the deer, the muskrats, the beavers, etc. It is our states, not the federal government, who supply the vast majority of time, money, and expertise to manage wildlife, and their record of success demonstrates clearly that species management is more effective when carried out by state and local agencies. It is state management agencies, not the federal government, that recovered and delisted the gray wolf in 2020, only to have radical enviro activists sued to keep them listed. For years, populations throughout the West have been well above the recovery thresholds prescribed in the Endangered Species Act. Yet officials in the Department of the Interior, being beholden to radical environmental NGOs, continually shift the recovery goalposts to keep species like the gray wolf and greater Yellowstone ecosystem grizzly bear listed as endangered, preserving their budget and control over Western lands. Instead of wasting taxpayer dollars on a recovered species, the Fish and Wildlife Service should focus its time and efforts on species that are actually at risk of becoming extinct. The science demonstrates how successful state management plans for the gray wolf have been, and the Fish and Wildlife Service's own research has stated that gray wolves are, quote, likely to retain a healthy level of abundance, end quote, and, quote, do not meet the definition of an endangered species or a threatened species, end quote. Mr. Speaker, I believe it is our state management officials, those who are on the ground and in the community, who are best equipped to manage our wildlife and conserve our environment, not unelected officials working from concrete buildings in Washington, D.C. Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho are classic examples of this fact. All three have maintained a recovered wolf population for well over 20 years. And contrary to what my colleague on the other side would say, that the plans that have been passed by the states would, quote, never pass judicial muster, the fact is just the opposite. In fact, it was the Circuit Court of Appeals right here in D.C. that ordered the Fish and Wildlife Service to delist the gray wolf in the state of Wyoming. I thank Ms. Boebert for introducing this common sense bill and encourage my colleagues to vote for its passage. Thank you, and with that, I yield back.